Hello everybody and welcome to No Guns Live Season 2 Episode 7 or Episode 19 overall anime review. In this episode a lot of stuff happened. We learned more about Juzo's backstory and the war and that. We learned more about how the extended came to be. What was the inspiration, I guess, for the old man to start working on them. And also Orsoro, that's what we'll go with. Also, Tetsuro might be a bad one. He might have been a big old betrayer. Top 10 anime betrayals. Handing Juzo over to the old man, essentially. So it's not a good thing you did there, not Juzo, the other one, Tetsuro. But hey, might not have happened. We'll get to that when we get to it. Anyway, let's get into the episode, see how everything went down and everything. Let's do this. We pick up right where we left off last week with Juzo saying, hey, yeah, I've already killed 5, don't worry about it, my dude. The other guy, whose name I've forgotten, but I can assume he's not going to be super important, says, hey, why did you do it? While that's going on, Tetsuro goes back to Mary, and Tetsuro, he looks right pissed off for no real reason. Well, alright, man. Is it because you had got sent back? That's a bit weird. Turns out Victor was the one that fixed Tetsuro's voice box. Mary deduces from looking at it, which is a good thing to do there. She tells him that, hey, I was able to talk to him a little bit and all that other good stuff. And then she says she's gonna shoot her boob rockets at him. Opie rockets, as you are aware. And then they talk a bit more about how he feels. Does he have any regrets and that? And then Tetsuro asks the question, do you think Juzo has any regrets? And yeah, everyone has regrets no matter how much you try not to. So I'm gonna say yes, Tetsuro, he probably does. Then we get a bit of backstory in, I guess, the war and the gunslave units. So this other guy, he was the hands of 5, but once the war was over, he had to hand over 5 to the government so they could turn them back to normal. No, that's not actually what it was. It was probably because they were going to get rid of them, put them down, so to speak. But then 5 decided, okay, I'm not a tool anymore because, he's abandoned me. I'm free now, and he, rebelled and left and everything. Which is, hey, fair enough, I guess. After that, 5 escaped to form a rebellion to start a rebellion with most of the other gunslave units. I think they said there was 9 of them overall, so that was the thing that happens. But then, who would go and deal with the gunslave units but your boy, Juzo, the traitor of the Noble Rots? Do we learn why they were called Noble Rot, or was that later on? I can't remember. No, Tetsuro talks about it. It's later, so yeah, Juzo killed a lot of his friends. Well, friends, you get what I'm saying. Squad mates, that makes a better word. We go back to the juniors now, I guess. Juzo, yeah, probably regrets everything that he did in the war. Tetsuro says this, I think. Mary is there too, talking to him, but she's not taking this conversation nearly as seriously as he is. She's a bit jokey and stuff, and Tetsuro is deathly serious. We have to talk about this legitimately, Then he tells the story that there were 13 gunslave units in a unit called Noble Rot, and they basically changed the tide of the war, so we won. We know of 4. There are 2 in jail. There's Juzo, and then there's matey boy 7. So what happened to the other 9? Basically, they all died in the war because the military tried to dispose of them using Juzo, I assume. And then at the very end of this bit, we learned that Juzo's partner, who I don't think we've met yet. Juzo's partner is the one that gave him, the name Juzo. Everyone else just got numbers. Juzo got a name because his partner, I guess, wasn't a dick. Which, that's fair. That's fair enough, Good on Juzo's partner, wherever he may be. He's probably dead, though. I would place bets on he's probably dead, but hey, maybe not. Maybe he's going to show up in the finale, be like, it's been a long time, partner. Something like that. Who knows? That was a terrible accent. Let's move on. Once again, when Juzo entered the room, Tetsuro was going to harmony, but thought better of it. Instead, they have a big talk. He starts on at Juzo, like, hey Juzo, you're the Brethren killer, right? And Juzo's like, crap, now I gotta tell him, and that's basically how it goes. Tetsuro starts, not accusing, but he's basically figured it all out. He's like, you regret what you did, so that's why you never use your power for yourself. You use it for other selfish people, including myself. And Tetsuro tells about how he was apparently funding Spitsbergen before his memory loss and everything, and it might be his fault people suffered, and he doesn't quite know what to do. He's not strong like Juzo and everything. And then Juzo, ever the father to young Tetsuro, is like, you can't decide on what you don't know, but when you find out, what matters is what you do now. And what is it that Tetsuro does now? Hopefully it's not something stupid and dumb. I mean, it probably isn't. I mean, we'll get to it when we get to it, but I reckon we've been duped here. We've been duped by the Tetsuro, but that's just me. Very quick return to Beruin. We have the big CG statue that talks. Remember, that made a return talking to some guy. Sort of seemed to imply to me that it was Pepper, because she was saying what unless she was just listening. But yeah, maybe, who knows. But yeah, then Pepper meets with Seven, gives Seven a lollipop, which is just a bizarre sight. Like, Seven eating a lollipop, despite the fact that he's a big old gun slave unit, but he's like a child, basically, which is, yeah, basically, I don't have much to add on that. Basically, for that, they're going to just say, hey, we got a new mission, I wonder what the new mission could be. They're going to fight Juzo and that. Maybe take out Spitsbergen as well while they're at it, which, that's a thing they could do. It's not a bad thing. It's not. I mean, the final fight of the season is going to be Juzo versus Seven. That is just what's going to happen. But, yeah, we got enough time to build that up, I think. Anyway, not quite done yet. The biggest thing of the episode happened next, in my honest opinion. So originally it seems like Juzo has brought Tetsuro somewhere. That might not be the case though. So the old scientist man, whose name I haven't wrote down, it's probably important, but I didn't write it down. He's getting wheeled around nearby. They don't know where Victor is. He's apparently left Spitsbergen now and is off on his own, which, hey, fair enough. But then his assistant is like, oh man, your recent actions go against the creed, the assassin's creed. Not spoilers, copyright. He's like, what is your true objective? And then Juzo brought Tetsuro to him, and then it's like, oh no, it's not Juzo. That's Tetsuro harmonying Juzo, bringing him there. And then we learn more about the voice box they gave him. It also locks harmony in. It makes sure it's active and then locks it in. So he can't basically he can't decide to betray them and release Juzo now. So, but they didn't trust Tetsuro too much, I think it's fair to say. Old guy then tells his backstory about his brother that he admired a lot, who he has bad legs, the scientist, but the brother doesn't. So the brother went off to the war and everything. But then before he got to the war, he lost his legs in a train accident, and then he couldn't walk anymore, obviously. But then the brother was like, it should have been you, damn it. Like, your legs are worthless anyway, which is bit harsh. And also his parents were all like, man, it would have been better if he just died because we would have got money out of it, basically. And it's like, okay, you didn't live in the best household, I get it. He was like, yeah, I wasn't the one that was lacking anything. The whole world was lacking. And he puts this proper evil smile that makes him look like a Titan on his face from like Attack on Titan. Very creepy, I thought, anyway. That's how the extended research started, because he was like, the whole world's lacking something, I'm going to build what they lack, obviously. The extensions for that. But then he can't forgive Beruin, I don't know why I'm saying the name already, Beruin, for what they've done with the extend technology. They're like, I created this, but this ain't what I wanted it for, Chief, so I'm gonna put an end to that right about now. And then they're gonna use the harmony to hack into Juzo to release his limiter, so he can fight Seven, and that is where the episode roughly ends. So, I don't think for a second that Juzo's harmonied. I think Tetsuro's harmonied something else. I think when he said, it's all about what you do now, I think Tetsuro told Juzo and they came up with a plan on how they're going to deal with this. So I think they've essentially tricked Spitsbergen, because they just said harmony has to be active and it will lock it. They didn't say it has to be on Juzo. So I reckon he's harmonied a trash can or something. Maybe not a trash can, but you know what I'm saying. And then Juzo's just acting, basically. He's acting like he's not speaking, none of that. And then he's going to break free, I think. I think that's where we're going with that. And then probably Seven will show up and they'll be like, thanks for the help taking out Spitsbergen, my dude. And it's like, no problem, man. Something like that. Who knows? But anyway, what was my favourite part of the episode? It was actually a hard one. There wasn't anything that stood out too much in this episode, in my opinion. So my favourite part is quite simply, it's the old guy's backstory. Kind of interesting to see what led to the extended technology being created in the first place. I thought that was quite interesting. I And also I gave the old man, whose name I've still forgotten, still not wrote down, you know, gives him a bit more to him. Like, you can sort of understand where he's coming from, how he got to be how he is. Yeah, I thought it was all right, me personally. This wasn't a particularly exciting episode, but it was an episode that had to happen. You know, there was the sit down talk with Tetsuo. It was a solid, even though it was a talking episode, wasn't it? There was no action involved at any point. But I presume we'll get some of that more next week, so that's good. Anyway, I think No Guns Live, we're approaching the end. We're over halfway. It looks like we're going to be heading into the final section against, you know, they're probably going to deal with Spitsbergen and then they'll fight Seven. I reckon will be like the final, yeah, how we're doing this in the, you know, final few episodes. But yeah, it's exciting. I'm glad. I think this is criminally underrated, No Guns Live. I think it gets a lot of crap that it doesn't deserve, quite frankly. But anyway, thank you everybody for watching this review. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider subscribing and stuff for more reviews. That would help me out a lot. I will see you next week for another episode of this. Take care, and bye guys.